Hello everyone, in this episode we want to add functionality to these 4 buttons. So our load graph button, I don't need pop-up, I don't need input, node output, the rest will be worked on. So for loading the graph we will call node utilities dot a method that we call load graph. Just that. Now in node utilities we want to add that, and the load graph will have 2 different methods. One for actually let's see if I can make it. No. Yeah, it will have 2 different overloads. One for the editor stuff, so public static. It will return void and load graph. And one for outside of editor stuff, and it accepts a graph, a string as graph name. Okay, this will be used for runtime stuff, but let's first focus on this guy. So we say node graph, and we call it current graph. Then we say string path equals to editor utility dot open file panel. The title is load graph. The path is application dot data path plus @ backslash node editor backslash resources backslash database backslash. These are forward slashes, sorry. And the final one is the extension of the file. You don't put the dot and just the extension name. And holy crap, why did you do that? Okay, that's cool. Then we say if string dot is null or empty, the path, we have nothing to do, return. The path is not valid. Then we say int app path len for length equals to application dot data path dot length, because it will be the whole, for example, C colon forward slash Unity project slash assets slash blah. We want to remove everything up to that asset. So first of all, we get up to the asset point, but we want to keep the asset as forward slash. Okay, so we say string final path equals to path dot substring, and we say app length -6. Why did we -6? Because assets is 6 words. Cool. Then we say current graph equals to asset database dot load asset at path. The path is final path, and the type is type of node graph, and we finally typecast it as node graph. Then we check if current graph does not equal to null. So if the graph was loaded, we want the node editor window that we are working on. We say current window equals to editor window dot get window node editor window. Then we check if current window is not null. We say current window dot current graph equals our current graph. Okay, I will add a private message here, private void error message, and it accepts for a string as body. Here we will say, what's wrong with you? It's a static, sorry. Okay, we say editor utility dot display dialog. The title is error. The body is the body, and the only icon we have is OK. Okay. So if it was not there, we will call error message with a message that says the node editor window. The node editor window is lost. Reopen it. Then try reloading the graph. Okay. If we are not here, so else, it means that we have a problem in loading the graph itself. So we say the selected asset can't be loaded as a node graph. Okay. So if now I close, by now I don't have any graph. Okay. If I hit the load, it will open the assets node editor resources database and shows this guy and only the asset files. If I select it, let me reopen it to show you the stuff. So there is no buttons. I load it and I get the buttons. So it's loaded. This guy now I want to show the node's name, like graph names. Okay, so I will come inside my work view. I will uncomment this guy. And the graph doesn't have a name. I changed it to, I think, graph name. Yeah. Okay. So if I come back, now it should show the test. If I didn't have any graph there, then it would show work view. Cool. Now, the next tool that we want is unload the graph. So it's fairly simple. We say node utilities dot unload graph, and that's it. So for node utilities unload graph, and it's again a util, it's an editor stuff. So we say public static void unload graph. All we are doing, we are getting the window, and if the window is not null, then we say current graph equals null. That's simple, isn't it? So we get the window, we get its current, no, if the window is not null, sorry. Yeah, if the window is not null, we get its current graph. Even if it's null or not, we assign it to null. So now I can say unload graph here. It's test, I hit unload graph, it goes to work view, and I don't have graph anymore. But the graph is still there, okay? We just removed it from work view area. Cool. Now, clear clear graph is again one node utility, node utilities dot clear graph. I will put it here. So public static void, come on, void, not a string, public static void clear graph, because we don't want to have this method at runtime, so people won't accidentally call this clear graph. Okay, so inside clear graph we say editor utility dot display dialog and delete graph. Are you sure you want to delete current graph? And we have okay or yes and no. It's easier. No as the cancel button. And we say if this, then we want to delete the graph. But before that, we want to get the window, and if the window is not null, we want to do that. So, oh, sorry, we don't need that. We are not getting the graph like this. What did I do? Why clear graph? Why clear graph? No, I'm totally wrong. This is delete graph. Okay, so clear graph, sorry. Clear graph. I'm sure you want to remove nodes from current graph. So if we hit yes, okay, we say current window dot current graph dot nodes equal to new list. No, new. What are you doing? New a list of node base. Okay, so we check if the window exists. If the window exists, we check if we want to delete the nodes from the graph, and we reset the nodes inside the current graph to be a new list. So we effectively cleared everything there. Good. Now, the next one is delete the graph. So node utilities dot delete graph, and here yeah, we want to send in the string graph name, and we only want this guy. Come on, not the graph name here. I'm dumb. We only want to do this guy inside our editor. We don't want to give possibility to have this method outside of editor at runtime and game playing time. So we say current graph dot graph name. Come on. Come on. Okay, you don't have this method, I know. So public. Come on. I said public. Oh, caps lock. Okay. Public static string, no, static void delete graph that asks for a string name, and inside here we go for another check and we say delete graph. Are you sure you want to remove, let's remove, delete current graph. It will not be reversible, and I want to add it on top of here too, so the user knows that, hey, if I do it, there is no way back. Okay, here we say asset database dot delete asset. The asset we want is asset node editor resources database / plus the name we sent in plus dot asset. So we remove it. Then we say asset database dot save assets and asset database dot refresh. And now before that we call unload graph to remove everything from graph. Then we remove the asset itself. Although I think I don't need this guy because we effectively are moving everything from this database by one move. So the only thing that remains here is a public static void create node. This will accept a node graph. We call it graph. A node type. We call it type. This will be bothering me. Node type. Then we want a vector 2 as the position. Okay? We will come back to this later when we are adding our nodes into the graph editor, like add node or float node. Okay? So by now, if I come back, current graph expecting inside node toolbar 66. I think I forgot something. I didn't need this string there. There we go. So I don't have any notes to show you the behavior of the clear, but I can show you the remove. And if you look, we have our test. If I remove, yes, and it will gone and everything will reset. Okay? So we don't have any node anymore. Okay. Now, where to start from? Okay, I showed you something. I could move these guys back and forth, left and right, and up and down. Let's add it because it's fairly simple and I have enough time to do that. And where did I put it? Where did I put it? Inside node editor window. Okay. So node editor window. We have this process event, and we are calling it inside our GUI. Inside process event, we say if e.type equals to event type key down and e.keyCode equals to left arrow. Then we want visual view. Did I make them static? Yeah, minus equals to 0.01 f, and they shouldn't be constants. God damn it. I totally forgot about that. So I will rename these guys to view horizontal percent and view vertical percent. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are getting the event type, and if it's key down and if the key is down is left arrow. So we will do it multiple times. The next one is if right arrow is hit, right arrow, not alt, and if, thank you, then we want to plus to that. Okay, then we say if the key is up arrow, we want our vertical and minus. If it is down arrow, we again want vertical, but this time we add. Then we want to make sure that it's not below some numbers. So if view horizontal is less than 0, less than 0, we want our view horizontal percentage to become 0. If it is greater than 1, we want it to be 1. If the vertical is less than 0.003 f, we want it to be that. And if it's greater than 897, we want to be 897. Okay, now if I come back to Unity, I use left key, right key, up, and you see that, oh, everything's ruined, and down. So now I'm interested why this guy will ruin everything. And I think I know what's going on. I forgot to change this last one to vertical. Okay, so, and this one to vertical too. Save, and relaunch our window. So down, up, left, right. And I think that number is the reason. I would say this is the minimum and this would be maximum. Okay, so this would be minimum, the maximum for this guy, and the minimum should be 0. So I may play with these numbers. For example, 0.85 f, it's a tiny bit. 4 and 4. So that's that. Now for this guy, if it is greater than 8, 5, 8, 5. Eight 3 maybe, or 82. That's that. And now it's 18. So 0.18, 0.18. If I move to top, now that's too much. 0.1, 0.1. A tiny bit more. 0.8, 0.8. That's it. I would call it a go. So we have up and down. The left side is okay because we are drawing properties and helps after work view, so we don't see this work view bothering us. And this is the minimum. Of course, if I want to, I can do this 0, 3 and 0, 3 and go with that 897, 897, and 1 and 1. But to make sure that now, if I move it here, I won't see that properties and help, the easiest way is to come into when we are drawing them, and I get my work view. Where is that? And move it below the properties and help. So we first draw the properties, then we draw the help, and then we draw that guy. So now you will see that it concatenates that. That's one part. This part, however, well, they will show up. And actually, I don't know. It's not a bad feature because it shows that I have a properties on top. And if I move down, it shows that I have a help. So if I draw the help, then tools, let's see if I move my tools, because tools has no interference with anyone, below my help. No, it didn't fix that. I was hoping to fix this part. Well, I think it's acceptable. And now I don't see properties on top, but I see the help. So this part goes there. I say this is acceptable. I'm not sure about you, because it shows that, hey, I have a properties on top and I have a help section on bottom. I accept it. If you don't want to, you can just go to this minimized size and this minimized size, for example. Up to you. I would call it a good size proportion right now, because there's no way of tweaking it anymore. There's no reason to do that. Okay. In next episode, Do we have anything to do with this? Well, we have here, and let me stop this one method and finish our job with our node editor window. This update is being called every frame. And although we have the node graph update, nothing is calling it yet right now. So in update, we say event e equals event.current. And then we say if current graph does not equal to null, then we want to say current graph dot update graph with the event. So every update, we will call the update on the node graph. It will check if we have any nodes, then it loops through the nodes and it updates the nodes. And our job with node editor window is done. Node graph, we have jobs to do here. Node base, we have jobs to do here, lots of jobs. And node utilities, we have one job at least for editor and then another job for the runtime. Toolbar, I could add context menus. I will leave it to you guys. Honestly, I don't see myself doing it. There is no reason for that, at least yet. So I would say we are done with this guy, and we don't need these parts that are commented anymore in these bars. So next episode, I think I will add my float and add nodes, because without them we can't move any farther ahead. And until that episode, have fun everyone. Bye bye.